Hey guys, welcome back to Active Body Clear Minds. Today I'm going to be showing you some of my favorite glute medius and hip exercises. So the hips are super important to work because they help to keep your hips stable and level, which is important in not just sports, but in all aspects of life. You don't want one hip to go a little bit lower than the other. You don't want one hip to twist in while the other twists out. None of that. So what we want to do is we want to strengthen these muscles so that way they stay level, and it'll reduce lower back pain if that is the cause of your lower back pain, as well as reduce risk of injury in the lower parts of your leg. And it'll help you become more explosive and more powerful, because when you're running you're running with 1 foot at a time. Only 1 foot is in contact with the ground, meaning the glutes have to be activated and the muscles of the hip have to be activated to keep it level. So this is going to help you be more powerful, and if you're pushing off laterally to change direction in either direction, building strength here is going to help with that. So let's get started. Alright, so the first exercise you're going to be doing is we're going to be using a step. If you don't have a step like this, it is completely okay. You can use a step in your house, or you can use the curb. You just need something that you're going to be able to step down from. So we're going to be doing lateral step down. So you're going to put your foot on the edge. And what's important with this is, just like any squat, you don't want your knee to come over your toe, you don't want your knee to cave in, and you don't want your knee to cave out. So the key to helping with it not going over your toes is just to push your butt back first before you start bending your knees. So it's going to look like this. And if you notice, I'm only touching the ground with my heel. My toe isn't touching the ground, the ball of my feet isn't touching the ground. This is helping me get a greater range of motion and letting me get deeper into the exercise compared to just bending my knee a little bit and coming up. So the higher the step, the more difficult it is going to be. And you can also start adding weights in your hands to make it even more difficult and to really build up those glutes. Alright, next you're going to need a band. So I just took a regular long band and tied it together, but you could also use the hip circle type bands. So you're going to put this over your feet, and you want it to be 2 to 3 fingers above your knees. So I'm actually going to lower it a little bit. So I'm going to get down in a squat stance. If you can tell, my knees aren't going over my toes because I'm letting my butt go back and down. My knees aren't caving in and my knees aren't caving out. The band will really help make sure that your knees aren't caving in. It's also going to add some resistance, making it a little bit more difficult doing a lateral step. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start over here. I'm going to get my squat position. I'm going to stay on the balls of my feet, and I'm just going to shuffle to the side. If you can notice, my hips always stay around hip width apart. They don't get any closer than that because we want to maintain resistance. And once I get to the end, I'm going to start going back the other way, just like this. So we're going to do 5 yards in one direction, 5 yards in the other direction, and take a little bit of a break. Once you start getting better in that, we'll go 10 yards in each direction. You're really going to feel the burn, and you're really going to feel it tomorrow. Once you start doing this more frequently, that burn will go away and the soreness will go away. Also, I would recommend getting different kinds of bands because this will change the difficulty level. There's some that are super stretchy, which is going to make it easier, and there are some that's really tight that's going to make it a lot harder. To increase the difficulty, besides changing the bands, you can move the band to your ankles. And I'm going to step a little bit wider right now just so I have constant tension. This is going to make it a little more difficult just because the band is farther away from the muscle that's working. So we're going to go down into a squat, step left. So when you're stepping, this band is really going to want to pull your foot back in quick, just like a rubber band. So now you have to focus extra hard on bringing that foot in slowly. Once you get to the end, go the other way. You're going to want to take smaller steps with this, just because it is a lot more difficult to control. And I want you to start with 5 yards there and back. Again, progress to 10 yards there and back. So for this next exercise, we are going to put the band right back above our knees, 2 or 3 fingers from our kneecap, and we're going to do what are called monster walks. So I'm going to start farther back. Again, We don't want our knee to come over our toes, we don't want our knees to cave in, and we don't want our knees to cave out. So I'm going to go back into my squat position, and I'm just going to step forward and a little bit of a diagonal. Stay on the balls of your feet, and then we're going to go backwards. Again, don't let your foot come back too far or too quickly. We really want to have a controlled motion. So next we're going to drop the band again and do monster walks forward and backwards. Right at our ankles, we're going to get low. This is increase the difficulty. I can really feel it in my hips. Let's do a couple forward, and then go backwards. Again, don't let your knees cave in, don't let your knees cave out. And with that, we are done for the day. So I want you to do the monster walks 5 yards forwards and 5 yards backwards. And again, progress them to 10 yards forward, 10 yards backwards. I want you to do 2 sets of these exercises to start, and then once you get better at them, I want you to do 3 sets. Good luck, and I hope this helps you.